It's Tuesday, February 5th, 2008. This is Variant Edition. Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Mike. Roughly every week for the last 2 years, Variant Edition has brought you the best in comics and comic culture. We're starting year 3 next week, so look forward to a few catch-up episodes and maybe discussion before we jump into season 3. But it's Tuesday, and that means comics and comic news, so get ready for a quick dose of comic knowledge that will prepare you to step into your comic shop this week.
Hi, I'm Lewis, and here's a look at what comics you can expect to find in shops this week. Now pay attention, there's some cool stuff coming out this week, so here's the list. Okay, so that's a pretty good look at what's hitting shops this week. But what's our pick of the week? Scud, the Disposable Assassin number 21. It's been 10 years since the cliffhanger ending in issue 20, and the long-time concluding issue is so big that it's taking 4 issues to tell. Creator Rob Schrab is back to tie up all the loose ends. But seriously, if you don't know who or what Scud is, here's your chance to get on board. It's cool, it's fun, and it's weird, and we can't wait for it on Wednesday.
Hi, I'm Nick, and these are your headlines for Tuesday, February 5th, 2008. So last week, we reported on the huge media play that Spider-Man's deal with the Devil got. Well, another week, another huge Marvel event to play out. This time is the return of Captain America. No, Steve Rogers is still dead, but through the magic of Ed Brubaker's writing, we were witness to another legend picking up the shield. Once thought dead sidekick, Bucky Barnes, put on the costume and took on the role of Captain America. Oh, and if you weren't paying attention to the last few years of the Cap book, Bucky came back quite a while ago. Media interest was pretty high, but most of that interest seemed to focus on the change of costume, namely the addition of a sidearm, and how metaphoric that is of America. I guess they forgot that soldiers, tend to carry guns. Oh, DC got some media play this week too. Why the Last Man, the widely acclaimed Vertigo series by Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerra, concluded this week with its 60th issue. For the few of you that haven't read it, Why revolves around the lone male survivor to a plague that killed every male on the planet. Oh, he's got a helper monkey, too. Writer and creator Brian K. Vaughan managed to get his name mentioned online, in print, and on TV. But don't worry about why. We may not have seen the last of it, as there is talk of turning the series into a live-action film. And speaking of movies, let's talk comic movies with Eddie.
Thanks, Nick. Now, everyone already knows the sad news about Heath Ledger's passing. One thing that is becoming clear is that the release of the summer's Dark Knight shouldn't be affected by his death. And it seems that Warner Brothers is confident that Ledger's role as the Joker would have been his defining moment for his career, and as such, they have no plans to change the film or too much of the marketing. It will be a little sad seeing the film this summer, but if you excuse me for saying this, I hope that everyone doesn't get caught up in his death and the rumors and the gossip that goes with it. Let's just let his performance speak for itself and stand as a memorial to a fine young actor. So as the Dark Knight will go on, and so does the rest of the summer schedule. And this past Sunday saw the release of some new commercials and images for a few comic-related movies during the Super Bowl. With the new commercials for both Iron Man and Wanted. If you missed it, check out Iron Man at Marvel.com and Wanted at WantedMovie.com. And while it's not on any schedule, ISB is reporting that Marvel Studio is planning a Venom spin-off movie, and that apparently they are shopping it around to several A-list writers. It's too early to say much about the movie yet, but be assured we'll let you know as soon as we find out. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Eddie. We've talked comics, we've talked movies, so now let's talk computers. Trust me, it'll make sense. You can add Microsoft as the latest publisher of online comics. Starting last week, Heroes Happen Here, the latest comic by Chuck Dixon, and yes, that Chuck Dixon, debuted as a webcomic to help promote Microsoft's latest version of SQL Server. In typical Microsoft fashion, and believe me, we're not making this up, when we went to check out the comic, we had to click to install some software, getting an error that read, "We're sorry, but we were unable to service your request." If this is the future of online comics, you can sure as hell count me out. Alright, that's it for the news this week. We'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and this week's Book of the Week, Why the Last Man, number 60. It's hard to say much about the last issue without really giving away the ending, but I can say that it provides a satisfying conclusion to one of the most interesting comic series to come out in a long time. Let's face it, when you first heard the premise of a young escape artist and his monkey surviving a global apocalyptic plague that kills everyone with a Y chromosome, who didn't have some purient thoughts in mind? Without the deft hand of Brian K. Vaughan, Y could easily have been a very different series. But it wasn't. Jumping right in and never looking back, Yorick was just enough of an everyman to guide us through the story, but also left us wondering if we would have made the same decisions. BKV has crafted a long-form story that, while I am sad that it has ended, I'm glad that it did, as I look forward to rereading it many times in the future. Yes, it's that good. To Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerra and everyone else involved with Y, thank you.
All right, so we're doing a little bit of a short bullet points here. It's just two guys talking comics really quick, what we just read.
Yeah.
Uncanny X-Men, what did you think?
This issue is really good because it kind of shows, the team downtown, they're in the Savage Land. Everybody's broken up. You got Wolverine, Colossus, and Nightcrawler going to Russia.
Don't you mean Angelina Jolie?
Angelina Jolie, because he's got, whole dim image, hologram ring on.
Inducer,
there you go. And Cyclops and M are just basically just taking it easy, trying to rethink of what they want to do with refounding the Institute and whether or not they should just even bother going on anymore. And there's a quick cameo by Tony Stark, everybody's favorite,
Important to mention here. Yeah. He says, you got to register because you guys are dangerous weapons. And Scott's more like, we're not in your war. You go fly back to your helicarrier, you titanium tin man of badness. Anyway, so Moon Knight. You read Moon Knight. I didn't read Moon Knight. What's going on in Moon Knight?
15, what's going on is we got some old characters, some old villains of Moon Knight coming back from the past. If you were a big fan of Moon Knight in the 80s, you probably have a good idea of what's going on. Mark is, really, falling deep way over his head of, insanity. He's going really bad. He's actually wearing...
More so than usual.
Yeah, he's actually wearing the face cutout that he, tore off of, Bushwhacker. So it's really bad now, but the book is great. And Mark Texier is drawing it now, so... That's a plus.
Sounds intriguing. I might have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
We got Annihilation Conquest number 4 of 6. This is the first one I'm reading. You've read the whole series.
I've read the whole series, and I read the last series.
And I'm
even
very
better
jealous.
Than the first series. If you guys aren't reading this, there's big things going on, even bigger than the last Annihilation. You got the return of a big-time enemy. If you read your Avengers stuff, you might know who it is. High Evolutionary's back. Adam Warlock came back out of nowhere.
Which is the most important thing that you need to know, and you should buy the book. If you don't know who Adam Warlock is, Wikipedia it or something. Google it. It'll be there. It's... Oh my god, people! He's back! Need I say more? Buy the book! He's talking about gems and souls and It's great. Awesome.
To the next book, Miss Marvel. You read a lot of Miss Marvel. I'm a little behind on that.
This is actually the first Miss Marvel I've picked up in some time, but
really?
Kevin says, hey, read this book, something big happens in the last page. And I go, oh, what's on the last page? It's a Support the Truth commercial. And I'm like, oh, no, the real last page of the comic. Anyway, Miss Marvel temporarily gets back the power of binary. She separates from her host thing, fights the Brood, kills most of the Brood, kills the Brood Queen with a big thermal detonator nuclear explosion in space, falls down to Earth. She's injured. She's passed out. No one knows what's going on. Everybody wants to go home. Anya's in it. Anya's a spider woman who's Mexican?
No, the
Spanish?
Spider Girl.
Spider Girl who's Mexican.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Spanish Spider Girl.
Spanish.
Pick it up for that reason. No, don't pick it up for that reason. The big thing is in the last page, Tony Stark says, you're an important agent. You've been with the S.H.I.E.L.D. for a long time. Guess what? We think Carol Danvers is a Skrull, and you're going to take her out as soon as you can. What? Alright, that's it for Variant Edition Tuesday this week.
Like we said last week, we're back.
We're dedicating ourselves to getting back on track and keeping a weekly schedule.
And we have quite a few other big plans up our sleeves, but we can't tell you those until we officially launch Season 3.
Nope, you'll just have to sit through a few more catch-up episodes while you wait for the 16th to roll around.
Then, we begin Season 3 in all of its comic glory.
Glory! Expect a few changes and expect all that footage that we have talked about from cons to finally see the light of day.
But that's next week. This week, we want to wrap it up with a reminder that just as we have for the last 2 years, we're shooting this week's episode at Classic Comics in Rahway, New Jersey.
Where?
Classic Comics in Rahway, New Jersey.
Classic Comics in Rahway, New Jersey, you say. Check out ClassicComics.com for more information about the shop, including how you can save up to 20% on your comics every week.
And remember, VariantEdition.com is still the easiest way to watch us, but it's not the only way. There are a few other ways out there, too. You got iTunes, VO, YouTube, and Google Video, and a really sweet high-res version from Blip TV.
That's it for Variant Edition Tuesday.
See you next week. Less snark.
For the glory! I have no idea why I did that.
Less snark, knock it out of the park. I got you.
It was YouTube, Google Video, blah, 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 and...
YouTube, Google
Blip
Video,
TV.
and Blip TV.
Techno motion.